Hey guys, so today I am here with a first impressions video for you guys. I'm going to be doing a whole foundation routine, kind of full face, without eyes, foundation routine, using e.l.f. products. These are all products that are new to me and I'm trying for the first time. So if you want to see if I like them or not, what I liked, what I didn't like, then go ahead and keep on watching. Okay, so I have a bunch of e.l.f. face products, but I do not have a primer. So I did get a sample. I have two samples here. One is the eye cream, but this is the mineral infused face primer, and it's just a sample from e.l.f. So let me separate these two, and I'll just use this as my primer. To be fair though, you can't really see it, I don't think, as far as what I can see in a viewfinder, but my skin is super irritated and red right now because I was just messing with it. Because I'm a picker and I need to stop doing that. So I did put a little bit of just like this green color correcting foundation primer from Smashbox, just like a hair of it on, just to get rid of some of that redness because there was quite a bit. But I am also going to use this primer just because I want to get a feel for it as well. Oh geez. I'm just going to use the whole like bag. I don't think it has a smell. Feels really silicone-y, which I love. Actually, I prefer, like, I seriously love a silicone primer, and this feels really nice. I did use quite a bit though. Yeah, it feels really smooth, and I also feel like it kind of filled in some of my pores, which I do like. Obviously I don't have any like large pores or anything that I've noticed, but it did fill in what small pores I did have, and I feel very like, let's just put it everywhere. I feel very smooth now. I do like that. Hopefully that's like, you know, e.l.f.'s like super cheap, so I feel like that's probably gonna be like $6. A+ here. Then I'm going to use one of their Flawless Finish foundations. I have two different ones in two different shades. These are both oil-free and they both have an SPF of 15 in them. I have, sorry, I keep like swallowing. I have light ivory and alabaster. I feel like alabaster might be the closest to my skin tone, but let's do a test just to be sure, because you can never go just off looks. And this is the first time I'm actually opening these, so this is the packaging. It's like a glass bottle. Oh, and it has a pump. Ooh, I like this packaging a lot actually. Here. Okay, so that was light ivory, and then this is alabaster. Seriously, just by like looking at them, I definitely feel like alabaster is going to be my shade, but we can always swatch both just to be sure. So I'll start with alabaster because, like I said, I feel like that's my shade. I'm gonna put a little bit on. Here we go. I'm getting some resistance. There we go. Okay. So this is maybe. Okay, so that's alabaster, and then let's do the ivory, light ivory shade. Oh yeah, light ivory is way too yellow. You can see it right here. Alabaster seems to be the shade. So I'm gonna go ahead and just, I feel like alabaster still might be like way too like pinky orange, but we can always try it. So I'm gonna put the ivory over here so I don't touch it. Okay, and I'm going to apply it today using a beauty blender just because that's what I prefer. You could always use a brush for more fuller coverage, but I do love me a beauty blender. This feels kind of like, it's kind of thick on my hand. I have a lot of foundations that when I put them on the back of my hand, they tend to kind of run down. This is more of like a kind of moussey texture. As far as coverage is going with the beauty blender, it does look pretty natural, which is kind of expected with a sponge. I'm sure if I used a brush, it would come across a little bit thicker, a little bit more coverage, but I do like a more kind of natural, evening out my skin tone kind of foundation on most days. Some days I do like, you know, the not natural look. Okay. The color seems to be good though, which I really like. Especially when looking in the viewfinder when I was swatching and testing the two colors, you could see a definite difference between the two. I'm doing my second pump right now. As far as which one blended completely into my skin tone, like you couldn't even see it in the viewfinder, and the ivory, which you could totally see. It was like really bright. But yeah, this definitely seems to be a foundation that kind of gives you that flawless finish, evens out your skin tone For a drugstore foundation, this is pretty nice. I've had luck with drugstore foundations in the past. That's pretty much all I used throughout high school was drugstore foundations. So I've have a fair share of some that I really like. And then, of course I have a fair share of some that I also, just put that right in my eyebrow, that I dislike. But this one seems to be good. It is maybe like a hair too dark for me, but this would be a good like summer shade for me. Isn't that sad? Alabaster would be a good summer shade for me. Ugh, my life. Whatever. Oh, my hair is getting nuts. Okay, so I think I've blended the majority of it out. I do like the coverage. Again, I do also think it is a little bit darker. You're not going to be able to see too well the difference between my face and my neck because the lighting is a little bit brighter. Let's see if I can turn it down just so you guys can see. That might actually be a lot better, but there's a little bit of a difference. Not too bad, but we'll move on. So it's kind of nice. I mean, it's typically what I look for in a foundation, something that matches my skin tone, evens out my skin tone, and looks fairly decent, which all three of those things work for me. So let's go ahead and move on. I do have the Beautifully Bare Lightweight Concealer Stick in Fair to Light that I'm going to go ahead and try next, which I'm really excited about. I only typically use one concealer, which is the MAC Pro Longwear concealer, and I love that. So I definitely need to find something else for like blemishes, because that, as you guys probably know if you watch YouTube videos, is perfect for like under the eyes. Is what the concealer stick looks like, and it's for Fair to Light. Just kind of swivels up like this. Let's do a little bit. Oh, should I do under the eye? Yeah, let's just do it under the eye. Kind of a lighter coverage. I prefer a much thicker coverage, but that's me. This is definitely more like a natural coverage, and it's not moving the foundation, which is nice because I haven't set the foundation yet, so it's not moving it. I don't know how well this will be for like a highlighter, so let's put a little bit on. Do I have any like bad blemishes? I guess I could put some over here, and we'll see what that looks like. And let's use the Beauty Blender again, because that's what I used to start to blend it out. This definitely has a much thicker consistency. It's definitely a lot harder to blend. Not as liquidy, which is, to be expected because it was a stick. Coverage is good. Color is okay. I don't know if I could definitely classify this as a Fair to Light because it is a little bit yellower than my skin. I don't know if they have a pink one, but if they had like a pink option for Fair to Light, I might go with that, although this isn't that bad. I don't think it's really concealing as much as I prefer, especially under the eyes. That might also be attributed to the fact that it is a stick concealer, but it might, in my opinion, probably be a lot better for blemishes because it seemed to blend a lot better in the blemish department, but it still gave me some coverage under the eyes, just not as much as I had hoped for, but still pretty decently nice. Okay, so next I'm going to set everything using the Beautifully Bare Sheer Tint Finishing Powder in Fair to Light from that same sort of e.l.f. collection, the Beautifully Bare collection, as the concealer. Oops. And then this is the outer packaging, just like a mirror packaging. It opens like this with a mirror inside. There's a sponge underneath and then your powder. This looks very similar to the powder I currently use actually, which is the Too Faced Cocoa Powder Foundation. I am just going to use the brush that I used for the Cocoa Powder Foundation. And again, this is pretty light, also pretty powdery. Oh, this is nice. I like this a lot. This sets really well. Really smooth. Kind of finishes everything really nicely. Let me look at it in this mirror actually here. Yeah, I like this a lot. This might be my favorite product that I've used so far. It's like really nice. It set everything. And I have really dry skin, and there's no like creasing, no like super powdery on your face. You know, if you have dry skin, it can kind of flake up around your nose. For me, it's like my nose and right here flakes up quite a bit, and I don't see that yet, which is really nice because with some powder foundations and some powders, I can see the caking almost immediately. So that's really nice. I do like that a lot. I also have the e.l.f. contour palette here. I think this is just in one shade. So I'm going to use that to set my under eyes and to do a little bit of bronzing and contouring. So this is what it looks like. Actually, from looking at the back, I think these shades pop out. Let me test. Ooh. Oh, I think they do. Looking at the back, like as you guys can see, I think these shades do pop out. Don't quote me. I'm not going to break my contour palette to find out, but this is what it looks like. There are 4 shades in here. There's sort of like a light kind of highlight, a setting shade, maybe a contour shade, 2 contour shades, if not a bronzing, and then like a deeper contour. I'm going to start by setting the under eye using this shade here. My phone just went off. Yeah, I'm definitely more pink than I like to be. I wish you guys could see me in person because I'm like super, super pink. The shade's okay. It's not like bad or anything. It's not adding any color, which I also feel like it's just kind of not doing anything. And then I am going to contour using the lighter shade. The darker shade is very, very dark. I'm very fair, as I have mentioned previously. So I'm just going to start with this lighter shade. Not getting much. There it goes. This might actually be a better bronzing shade because there's not a lot of color. I mean, it's kind of coming through, but it's not a lot, which is okay. I don't want to use that dark color though because it is very, 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 very dark. I am just going to blend that out quickly, even though there's hardly any real color to blend. Excuse me. And then I am going to use the blush palette. This is the light blush palette. For my blush, it's the same sort of setup. And I'm not sure if you can pop these out, but they have the same packaging as the contour palette where the back looks like this. These are the 4 blush colors. 3 of these are very intense. I mean, I don't know how often I would put those to use, but this one is sort of like a lighter, kind of like apricot shade, which I can sort of deal with. So we'll try a little bit of that. Oh, that's like really pigmented as opposed to the contour shade. Let's try that. Maybe not. When I put it on my brush, I could see it almost instantly, and now I'm like, okay, where you go, girl? Come back. I was really liking all of the like base products until I got to these powders. I mean, you can see some color, but it's not crazy. Let's do a little bit of this pink just to see. I'm going to use this one just to see if a little bit comes off. Okay, I see that. I was going to say, I don't think I saw that. I'm barely tapping it. So this one's a little bit more pigmented than that apricot shade, but I wouldn't expect to use that. So I don't know how I feel about the contour palette and the blush palette. They're okay in my opinion, but I wouldn't personally spend my money on those. And then just to finish this whole look off, I am going to do some highlighting. I have the e.l.f. Baked Highlighter in Blush Gems is the shade, which I'm very excited to try this. Packaging looks like this. It's just a clear top and it is a domed kind of like marble color, domed marble shape. And then this is the color. It's like a rose gold champagne. Let's use a clean brush to apply this because I don't want to use my highlighter brush, which already has a ton of product on it. I want to be able to see what the actual color payoff is. I am pretty critical of highlighters, so I'm excited to see. I'm using a fan brush. Okay. Not bad. Not bad. When I had initially, this is the only product I actually took out and swatched. When I swatched it, there was like nothing on my hand and I was like, okay. But I was really hoping with a brush I would get a much better application, which I definitely think I am getting. It's like not crazy though. Like you can see a little bit of it, but it's not like anything to call home about. I would probably have to like dig. Yeah, like there's nothing. I would probably have to dig my fingers in to get any sort of product on here because this is a little crazy. So far, blush palette, highlighter, and contour palette, not a huge fan of, but the foundation, the concealer stick is okay, and the finishing powder I do really, really like, as well as the primer, even though I got a sample of that. So that's kind of my overall opinions of all of these e.l.f. face products. I still think this turned out to be a really nice, like, natural look. This color may be a little too dark for me. It looks like it oxidized quite a bit on my face. You still might not be able to tell. Let's see if I just turn my light off. Oh, yeah, you can see it right here. That's the difference. That was the difference, and I definitely think it's a pretty huge difference. Maybe if I was a little bit tanner, the alabaster shade would be my color, but I do really like the foundation. I do think it has a nice coverage, and the concealer stick's good. I definitely see me using the concealer stick for like acne or anything I want to cover other than like highlighting and under eyes. The powder is great. I'll probably use the powder right as soon as I finish my Too Faced one because I really liked that. But that was it for this kind of first impressions foundation routine of all e.l.f. products. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel if you're not already, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.